has made it.
Every time.
We're missing Jordan and Af. Af was supposed to be our host, but I think he's crashed and burned, unfortunately.
I know the feeling.
We all know the feeling.
Yeah, there's only so many coffees, hey? It's good. How's everybody feeling about this week's drops? Obviously, we knew Labbit was coming, but they look sick.
Yeah, I think we're excited. I think the 2 drops at the same time kind of threw us off and surprised us. And I know I'm excited.
Yeah, I've missed it, Rhys. It's not at the same time, right? It's sort of 7 hours apart. Is that right?
Yeah. That seems to be the structure if we're going to do 2 drops on the same day. So there's the usual 8 a.m. Pacific time, and then the other one is 6 p.m. Pacific time. I think we did the same for Superman and Slimer.
Well, Slimer was 11 a.m. our time, right, Rhys? But I think Mike is saying it's like 8 a.m. our time. He knows my time better than I know my time.
Yeah, maybe no. I think it's the same. If it's 6 p.m. Pacific, it should be 11 our time.
Yeah. Now that he said that, I think I misquoted to you, Mark. Thanks.
Okay, 11.
Yeah. Because we're 7 hours. 7 hours difference, but we're in the future.
Right. Back to the future, eh?
Back to the future, yeah. Just on that, it looks like our the Back to the Future article is live again, in case anyone was trying to see it. For some reason, Medium flagged it. I don't know why. This is the second time it's happened. I'm not sure, so I might be speaking incorrectly, but I think that they might flag for some sort of copyright because they don't realise that it's licensed content, especially if it's like a bot kind of doing it.
Maybe they just didn't believe it. It could be possible.
Maybe. Yeah, that's it. Or they're just filling their bags with gems first, not letting anyone else read the content. So yeah, we'll. I think we live anyway.
Y'all like the low editions too with the Frank Kozik drop, the 188. So.
Yeah, I love it. I love all the sub 2000 stuff. I love stuff that's super exclusive, limited.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
especially,
go ahead, Rhys.
I was just going to say, especially with multiple drops happening now. We're kind of 2 a week at the moment. I think that'll keep ramping up on the way to Comic-Con. So yeah, we don't want to overdo it. It just gives us more availability to do some lower edition runs because there's just a higher volume of collectibles hitting the platform.
Exactly.
Hey guys.
What's up? Special guest, man of the hour, Mr. Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Thank you for offering to do this and for joining us. It's just about 9:30 now, so we are ready to kick off. We also have another special guest. Everybody check out Mitch Putnam. Thank you so much also for joining us and being here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I really enjoyed chatting with both of you guys. I was saying, Rob and I, it's best kept secret on Clubhouse. I'm not going to tell anybody. Hanging out with you guys.
It's the way to do it. Do you guys want me to take the floor for a while, or have you got some plans here? Do you want to roll on?
Yeah, man. Go ahead,
David.
No, go ahead, Rhys. Go ahead, brother. We can start bringing some stuff up, and we'll have some questions. We have some people that we want to bring up from the audience to ask questions eventually, but we have plenty of time. We're looking to go about 2 hours. If we go a little bit over, good stuff. I'm sure it's gonna be really exciting. So, let's get going, man. You can definitely
welcome to David Yu, Diamond Hands himself.
Hi guys, how are you?
Oh, it's on early. Welcome, David.
Pleasure to be here, David.
I do have a meeting, but I put them on mute to join this one.
Nice. Thank you so much for joining us. It is an absolute pleasure to have you. We're all really excited.
Oh, great. Have we got Frank on? Has Frank come on yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, hi, Frank. Oh, I see. Oh, man, I love all the viral Instagram thing going out today.
Yeah, it was totally fun, actually, to see that blossom.
Fantastic. See, we've got quite a bit of people on, so we're probably going to have a bit of ask me anything, questions.
I'd say so. So, David, are you in a meeting for another half an hour? Is that right?
No, I'm here. I'm here. I put them on mute. They are carrying on the meeting without me. It's fine.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks for prioritizing, David. We really appreciate it.
It's only one of our biggest licensors. That's all.
Priorities. That's what it's all about.
It's community before brand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh, well, while we've got you, David, I was going to dive into a bit of Frank's history, but I'm sure we'll cover that off through the conversation. Can someone give us the story of how Frank came to be on VeVe? I mean, did we obviously approached him at some point?
Yeah, well, I Vagabond, my game retail shop, I've been selling Frank's products since 2001. And I always been collecting his labbits for many years. And I think last time I saw Frank was maybe 2018 in Shanghai Toy Show. The was it right, Frank? When I saw you in that big kiosk in Shanghai?
That sounds about right.
I think it was around April. So that was reconnected with him, and I think we caught up a couple more times at your house, your studio, as well as I met you again in New York Toy Fair. Yeah, so yeah, it's been great to reconnect, and yeah, I do have to tell you guys, Frank has a huge collection of toys and artworks. Some really interesting artwork. It's probably one of the largest collection I have seen for artworks and just toys and everything. There's some really strange artwork that I'm all for it.
Frank, do you have a favorite piece in your collection?
Oh man, they often vary. Right now, I have this little. There's a Filipino artist called Barry Kumar. I think he's all famous now, but years ago he was doing small shows, and I bought this weird little painting of a head from him, and I think that's probably my favorite original that I have.
Nice. Very
He's
cool.
kind of a political artist from the Philippines.
Interesting. Is the toys that you have in your collection, Frank? Do you collect some of your own creations there? I mean, are they prominent?
Yeah, I mean, got to keep a few for the archive. So I have all the stuff I've done, which is a lot, and then I also for years and years was an avid collector. So I would come back from Comic-Con with extra suitcases of other people's stuff.
Right.
And then people sometimes would send you stuff, right? So, I mean, I started collecting the designer toys back around 2000, 2001, which is when I started working in them in Japan. And, that was quite a while ago. So stuff piles up. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff stashed away.
Yeah. How did that lead to you working with Kid Robot? Did you start designing for them, or did you go straight to the top as the creative officer? I mean, what was the journey?
Well, no, I mean, the way it worked is, I first started doing the designer toys in Japan in, I'd say, 1998. I was over there doing other stuff, and I met Hikaru from Bounty Hunter, and we got along, and he's like, we should collaborate. So we did the first toy together. It's like a black smoking rabbit. Although the ears are wonky. And then right about that time, Medicom started up as well. So they approached me because I'd worked with Hikaru. So I did like bear bricks, all sizes of bear bricks for them. I did a Mickey Mouse figure. I did a couple of other Labbit toys, 4 or 5. So between like 1998 and say 2001, 2002, I was making toys, but just in Japan, but I was really obsessed with them. And at the same time, there was this guy who had been he was a reseller online, and I was buying toys off of him. And then he went on to found a company called Kid Robot. And so I guess they saw my name on the receipts from my orders, and he called me up. He's like, are you the guy that's been working with the toys in Japan? I started this in the States. And dude, I'm ready. So I started licensing designs to them probably 2002, 2003. And so I licensed many, many lines to Kid Robot, and then they changed ownership in 2014, and then the new ownership approached me about sort of running the company for them because it had gotten to kind of a bad place. So I've been sort of running Kid Robot since 2014. But I still make my own toys in other places. It's like a contract. But and I think it's done well. The company's come back pretty well. So that's kind of the short story.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I did see while I was looking into your background a little bit that the labbits have kind of become the staple line, I suppose, of Kid Robot, or at least that generates enough for you to then go and pursue some of your more creative endeavors. Is there anything in that vein that you really enjoy making, or that inspires you more, or that lets you get out of the box outside of the labbit?
The labbit has always been my favorite thing because it's the simplest, and it's it's like I set out to achieve a goal and sort of create this perfect character, and it worked. It's resonated, and a lot of people have collected a lot of the labbits over the years. So, it's kind of like the core of my character stuff. There's other character lines I've really liked. People are familiar with them, stuff like the Mongers or Skeeter the Hedgehog. But I do all kinds of artwork, so I don't really have a particular. It's just kind of sometimes I really like doing complicated illustrations. Sometimes I like doing silly cartoons. Sometimes I'll do sort of higher end fine art. So it all depends. But as far as the toys go, probably love the labbit. But what I really get off on the most is I make these kind of really nice high end Sofubi toys in Japan with a little tiny company that just sells them to their website, and they're super super good quality Japanese manufacturer, and they're all sort of some of my more favorite characters. So the little black book toys I release are probably my favorite thing, and I've been working with them for about 10 years.
For 1 second, guys, this is awesome stuff. I want to reset the room a little bit because there's a lot of people in the audience. I know we've brought a lot of our friends in. There's the biggest VeVe fans in the world are here, but there's also a lot of people that aren't even too familiar with VeVe that are going to learn a lot about it tonight. And what I want to say is this is actually a really special night. The people in the audience, if you don't know, the two co-founders of VeVe have joined us, a really special occasion. We have some artists up on stage. Rhys is basically the voice of VeVe. I forget your exact title, marketing guru, I think people say. Rhys is a superstar for sure. There's a lot of really great people, in the VeVe community. Mitch Putnam is here. I mentioned earlier, I'd like to welcome him. Mario Carter is one of my favorite Twitter influencers. I will say that. Welcome on stage right now. There's all kinds of really great people here. So I'm going to let the conversation get going again, but thank you guys all for being here, and I hope everybody enjoys, and we're going to keep going and ask some questions. The people in the audience raising hands, we will start bringing you guys up, especially the people I spoke to earlier today. You guys will definitely get your chance to ask some questions. So thanks, guys, and you can continue.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. And I guess what? Oh yeah, go for it.
Sorry, Ray. I think we also got Dan here. Dan, are you online or you just listening in?
Yep, I'm here. Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining in today. It's great to have another chat with you guys.
Yeah. Just before we go any further, I just want to give all our audience a massive cuddle for all the one that has joined into this. Thanks for everything.
Yeah, it's super awesome that you guys showed up. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, such a
everyone in the
stellar
room.
audience.
Yeah, I think last time we saw Frank at San Francisco, Dan, if you remember, we were at his in the basement going through all the toys he had and going through every drawer to try to purchase every print he had. I think we walked away with what, right. 30, 40 prints, right?
Yeah, I think I've still got the Frank, I've still got your what was it? Your Star Wars series with the I think it was
like the 101s and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that was great. David was giggling like a small child.
Yeah.
So that was Frank. I think that was before you moved up to your new place.
Yeah, so now all that stuff that you guys waded through, it's all like an environmentally stable, like a warehouse type of deal. So, but I am building out some rooms in the bottom of the house to put the archives, the flat files in, so then they'll be all in there. So, it'll finally be somewhat organized. The toys, I don't know. I have no idea what to do with them. There's so many.
Well,
We'll take
well,
them.
we're gonna take them. Remember, Frank,
Right.
you're
Yeah,
gonna make
yeah.
a list for me.
I just need to like spend 2 weeks in there, like going through all the boxes.
Yeah. And I also see we got Mitch here. Hi, Mitch. How you been?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Oh man, it's really good
Good,
to speak to you again here today.
Yeah, good to see you all.
Yeah. You know,
I'm not sure if it was announced yet, but Mitch is the founder of Mondo Prints. Anyone in the collectible space or pop culture space, I'm sure is very, very familiar with Mitch's work.
yeah,
Thank you, guys.
it's amazing. Amazing. One of my favorite poster print artwork company.
Yeah, there's no competition. They're the best, man.
Yeah, I remember, I think 2017 Comic Con at San Diego. I managed to score a staff pass, and myself and James got in early, and we were trying to line up for I think it was the Jaws print that you were doing that morning, but there was already a line before the event center was even open. So the event organizers say, everyone, you have to go back to your stands. There's no lining up before the event started. And I think I was hiding under the table. James was hiding in the green chili bin, rubbish bin. So the minute the Comic Con opened, he jumps out. I come out under the table and we line up, and we still number like 30, 40 in the line. So it just shows you how popular Mondo is.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know, David never lines up for these things. It's always, you have that social awkwardness when you're at one of these conventions and David's hustling his way to the front somehow.
Yeah, actually, after the first time we spoke, I saw on your Instagram that you had a post that you had waited in our line at Comic-Con, and it really reaffirmed for me that this company really is run by collectors. A lot of people do say that, but it is really, really true for VeVe.
Oh man, I love the thanks for looking through the post. Yeah, I line up. I hardly line up because I'm one of those guys. I just have to have it now. So when I was at Frank's place, it was amazing. We're like kids again. Going through the drawers.
Hey, I'm actually in that Instagram video of yours from 2017. I was talking to Keen about it. It's funny. Yeah, those Mondo Comic Con lines, they're the best. That's all I can say. Mo's a saint, and yeah, it's good.
They're very stressful.
Yeah. And also I'm a huge Mike Mitchell fan, so I have quite a bit of his prints, especially from all the Star Wars series. So that was amazing.
You got to get in. Mike actually just started his own crypto coin, and he's working on some exclusive projects. So you should check that out.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, we must email him sometime. Very interesting. So we're quite excited. We've got a massive drop for labbits today, and I only realized a lot of the figures. I'm not sure if you noticed, Frank. It's never seen before in physical toy. They're actually coming out for the first time. So they are the first editions of the labbits coming out. So we're quite excited about it.
Oh yeah. I mean, I've been saving Labbit for something really special, and then we decided to work together. So now he can be unleashed. I'm super. I mean, I'll have to say what what Mitch says. I've known David for a while now. He's super passionate. He really understands collectibles and toys and what the fan wants. And a lot of us went from being collectors to getting into the business of it. And so it's like, and I've watched what he and Dan have done the last couple of years. It's been super amazing. So I'm incredibly honored to be included on your platform. I'm very happy. Online, it's not the future, it's now. And it's like, this really provides you guys make it really, really easy. And I know that all of the people in the VeVe family there, all the collectors are very happy with what you're doing. So it's like, it feels like a really, really great, partnership to me, because that's kind of the way I like to work, so I'm kind of super relieved to have such good partners in this like new space, so I think that's, it's super real.
Yeah,
Love it.
your drop is going to be very well received. We spoke the other night, and you said something like you hope it sells out, and then we kind of explained like it's going to sell out in a minute. They're going to sell out
5 seconds.
Yeah, we're all
Yeah,
ready for
but
it.
I mean,
Super excited. Like that's the least of what you have to worry about.
I don't know, I just try not to jinx myself.
Yeah, I know for sure. It's going to be
One
awesome.
question.
Yep.
One question that has popped up, guys, is first edition versus first appearance. I noticed the VeVe Medium article. It's just all first editions.
Yes. So how it works is this. Myself and Dan, we talked about back and forward. And by the way, all these we argue over on the phone for hours and midnight. Me and Dan just going back and forward to go, oh, I think this should be that. He think it should be this. But how it works is this. We think superheroes will have their first appearances and artists will have their first editions, things like that. So when we curate this whole program coming out, we think deeply because Labbits is going to be amazing series. We're going to have continued line of them, and you guys probably know Frank's work have done collab with Marvel. He has done collab with DC and other artists as well. So in near future, Labbits could be in with different collabs together, and the first edition is going to be very sought after and very collectible. And then and so on. You're going to have second edition and third. And this run is very, very small run. We didn't design it to be, and I just want to make it clear to all our audiences that we don't design these to be a sellout. We design them so people can come in and buy them. But we also hold really high hope and integrity and trust with our audiences that we're not going to be minting millions of these Labbits for the purposes that these are art collectible toys. The numbers that we put out, are based on what they sell in physical as well as what they do in the first edition coming out. I mean, Frank, how many Labbit do you bring out as a first edition of your very first Labbit you brought out in the early 2000s?
They would be, the big ones would be small. Sometimes it would be 300, sometimes it would be 1,500. It really sort of depended on what we thought, So the 10-inch ones, definitely, there were not a lot. Now in the mini series, we would do runs of like 50,000, but then that's divided by 12 or 13 characters. So that gets you down into like, with ratio. So the rare ones of those would be like, there might only be a couple hundred of the super rare ones up until like there's 1,500. That sort of a thing. The only time we ever did a big open edition were with the Labbits that came with the little accessories, the original Happy Labbit 10 inches, and we just basically left that open for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And so it did quite well. But yeah, traditionally the Labbit toys have been always limited. A lot of special ones, a lot of weird rare ones that were only sold at like La Colette in Paris, for example, right? Or at Harrods in London or at the Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas, so there's a lot of super rare ones out there. And when they show up on eBay, they can go for a lot sometimes.
Yeah, my favorite one has to be the piece where it's a massive giant, I think it's about 80 centimeter Labbit. You open it up, it has about 7 baby one in there.
Yeah, so that was like a limited run of a big plush, right? It was kind of expensive, and it was like a pregnant Labbit full of babies.
Yeah, so then we have to do that one sometime, where the Easter egg is the baby coming out.
The Littons, the little baby Labbits are called Littons.
Yeah, cool.
So maybe we will try and Claire, are you still awake? It's almost 3 a.m. where Claire is in Wales, and she is she's in our group, our moderator, but one of the absolute biggest VeVe fans there is. I'm not sure if David, if you're familiar with Claire, like Rhys and her friend. She's amazing. Are you awake, Claire? Are you?
I am indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
I can't say enough good
Hi,
things
Claire.
about Claire. Everybody knows Claire and should know Claire.
Claire's a rock star.
Yeah, Claire's a rock star, diehard. You guys should definitely
Claire's
know and
embarrassed.
appreciate her. Do you have a question you want to ask Claire? You want to bring anything up?
No, it's just really excited to the drop. And how did you decide on that particular models to bring out first? Because I just love the one where, it looks like parts of the rabbit that you can eat if you were a butcher sort of thing. I just love that one.
That's the fresh cuts. I love that one as well. I think that one's going to be pretty popular. But Frank has so much cool content. He's already loaded us up with a lot of different labbits, and we just thought that those, that selection was a really nice cross section of some of Frank's work. We've got the classics in there, like the backstab. We've got the smoking labbits, and then also the two new clear ones, or the visible labbits, which are some of my favorites. I think they're both rares, but I'm definitely going to be getting if I can. I mean, like you guys, I try to get in the drop and often fail. But they look so cool. Even just the fabric type texture on the inside of those transparent ones is so cool. And I'd just like to do a quick shout out to Claire. I always look at your photos; they're so good. And I was super pleased to hear that all of the walking you'd done, you'd lost some weight. I never thought of VeVe had been of a health app, but clearly it has multiple purposes.
Oh, definitely. I hadn't realised, to be honest with you, until I kind of checked. I thought I'd lost a little, but not that much. So it was quite a shock. And it's because every day I keep thinking, where can I go to get the best VeVe pictures? So it's like a running joke.
It's a great joke.
You live right by the coast, don't you, Claire?
Yeah, and in Snowdonia National Park. So where I live, I've got miles and miles of coastlines, but I've also got rivers, I've got mountains. It's just, the choice is vast, to be honest with you, but we get a lot of rain.
That's brilliant. Hey, just while we've got you there, Dan, and I know you've perfected the elevator pitch, but I assume there's a few people in this room who may not have heard of VeVe before or really understand what it is. So, I mean, do you want to just dive in and give people a brief overview of what the VeVe app is and what it provides?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, coming from a collector background, obviously Dave, I think I've mentioned before on a number of these interviews that David is a level 9,000 collector, if anyone gets the Dragon Ball reference. I'm a collector as well. I've got a ton of bear Brits and a lot of cool, stuff I've collected over the years, but I'm probably like a level 100 in comparison. And, when the opportunity first came up, back in 2017 when CryptoKitties came out, that was really when, we thought, hey, this could be something really cool and really interesting for the collectible space. And, and going through and designing the product and, really trying to, really all we've done is mimic the experience that fans already know and love in the physical world of collecting. As in, you've got your favorite brands, they're limited edition, you can display them, you can play with them. And it was really the most important thing for us was not to try to create something that new in terms of that whole collectible model, but to really try and translate that experience that collectors love and bring that into a digital space. And that's why, the app, and around that framework, the app has been created. As in, you've got your social feed where you can boast and you can sell your own, shill your own collectibles and share your photos. And then you've got the market for secondhand, trading and buying and selling with everyone else. Then you've got the store where you can buy all of the new releases if you're lucky enough to get in the 1 to 2 second sellouts that we seem to be having recently. And then lastly, your collection section within the app where you can, view all of your collectibles. Obviously, all of the collectibles for anyone who's using VeVe now knows that they are all, really nice, beautiful, high quality 3D assets. And then, once you own a collectible, you can drop that in augmented reality. And again, this was just another way for us to, transition between translate between the digital and the real world. As in, you could have your quote unquote digital collectibles in the real world, but now through augmented reality. And honestly, shout out to the VeVe fam. There are just, Claire's one of them. She's up there. There are just so many great photos of the collectibles out there in AR. And I think it's a really kind of creative and fun thing for people to do. And then also within your collection, you can set up your own virtual showrooms. Anyone who's a collector that I know, they've got a room or a shelf in their house where they love to display and set up their collectibles with pride. So it's really important for us to make sure we're bringing all of these experiences from the physical world into the digital space. And one of the cool things about the digital side is that you can kind of go, they're almost like collectibles plus in a way, or hyper collectibles, as in you can have one day, maybe coming soon, a drivable DeLorean, or you can experience the DeLorean at a 1-to-1 size, with something that most people never ever get to do. So, really just to sum it up, VeVe is just the digital incarnation of what people already know and love in the physical world.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like that description. It's almost like collectibles plus when it comes to the individual collectibles. But I think one thing that I've really observed with VeVe and this community is absolutely testament to this is that it's bringing collectors together. It's really introducing people to collecting as a hobby, as opposed to the sort of fragmented communities you see around a specific brand or a specific artist. It's really bringing everyone into one place to really explore that as a thing as well. It really feels like we're kind of facilitating the next wave of collectomania, and doing it in a way that is seamless and can let people interact with it. I mean, there's a lot of people in our community that maybe weren't collectors at all before, then collect the digital piece and go and find the physical counterpart as well, and bring that together. So that's, for me personally, coming at this not from a collectibles background, it's been really incredible to watch that play out. Do you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, that's actually really, really cool. I was actually going to say, Dan, would you also mind giving people a little bit of a glimpse of the future? I mean, you did an amazing job of summing up current VeVe, and maybe get people a little bit excited about the future. And then I'd also like to ask what your personal favorite piece is at the end of that. Just a quick thing. And
Mike,
then,
that's what I was going to say. We've been running for half an hour, and this is how incredible VeVe is. We haven't even mentioned the Marvel word yet, and it's been a half an hour.
Oh, there's so much to
The
talk
M
about.
word.
Sure. Yep.
Just going back to what Rhys was saying, because I'd like to touch on that as well. That's,
Go for it.
I think one of the cool things about VeVe is that it has really made collecting super accessible. Prior to kind of getting into this game with David, like I said, I've always been a collector, but Dave really opened my eyes to a lot deeper into the collectible world. And you realize that, if you want to get that rare Frank Kozik piece, or you want to get, some of these really collectible items, you need to be part of that world. You need to be part of those circles and know that to go to designer cons or, all of these kind of events that happen. And if you're not really aware of those, you're very much kind of out of the loop. But the cool thing about VeVe is that it's literally in the palm of your hand that you can start collecting, whether you're at work or, I've seen, for some random reason, I've seen a lot of AR photos of Batman going to the toilet. So I guess VeVe users browse VeVe. So, I think it's just made it so accessible. And, Rhys, to touch on what you said also is that, back, I think it probably would have been going a couple of months back, when I'm end of the night, close to midnight, and I'm looking through the Discord channel, And, I'd always see these comments like, oh, I'm a 38-year-old man. I've never collected before, but I'm up at 2 a.m. waiting for some unicorns. And I just thought it's so funny that, that we're introducing people to this new way of collecting. And, to be honest, collecting's fun. And the cool thing about this is that, depending on what you get and how fast you are at smashing that buy button on drop day, there's not only do you get something cool and something very new that might be a first appearance, but there's also like a monetary value behind it. So I think it's just so cool to see that it's, the way that we designed it, it's kind of hitting all the triggers. Because I remember I was talking to David the other day saying, 6 months ago, we'd be sitting around the table, we'd both be looking at the app and we're going, I think people are going to like it. I mean, I think it's cool. And Dave's like, yeah, I think it's cool too. We'd sort of sit there crossing our fingers, hoping other people sort of liked it. So, it's awesome that there's, collectors love it. New collectors love it. And it just, for me, I'm just most happy that it seems to bring quite a lot of enjoyment and sometimes frustration around the, getting in on those drops. Just to talk about the future of VeVe, I mean, really at the end of the day, we're an innovation company. And I think with the attention that's being in the NFT space now, we're more than likely going to see a lot of new players come into the market. So for me, it's really making sure that I continue to innovate in the product, bringing out features and tools that just make the product a lot more enjoyable. Some of the things that we've touched on previously is obviously, more interactive collectibles like the DeLorean that's going to be drivable. Some of the, superhero figures that we've got coming out very soon have a lot of like awesome animations in them. Later in the year, they're going to be interactive, whether that's you have the ability to drive them around or whether maybe it's like voice activated. So it's really just about, taking what we've got now, which really is version 1 of VeVe, and, just layering on features to make it more exciting, more enjoyable, more interactive. And then also, with Trevor, I don't know if Trevor's in the room, but, obviously once we brought on Trevor, prior to that, it was basically me and a small team of people banging out the, all of the early stuff like the Batmans. Like if you own a Todd McFarlane number 100, man, I spent hours on that one trying to get it right. But now, we have had luckily enough to have the opportunity to, partner with these AAA studios. Just a quick little snippet. I'm actually sitting here. I've got Unity open, looking at the Ecto 1, and man, I've got to say, it's just absolutely stunning. So little tidbit for you guys there. That's something that's going to be coming out soon. So I mean, in terms of the of the future of the app itself, obviously, we're really working in the digital space now, and we've got the showrooms right now, which is undergoing a huge upgrade at the moment. So I'm going to be excited to share that with you guys sometime in the next couple of weeks. But then even moving beyond the showroom, like having the ability to add multiple rooms of various different themes so you can continue to expand your collection. Honestly, some of the, in fact, I think, Johnny, it might have been you, some of the showrooms that I've seen have so many collectibles in them, I'm literally not even sure how your phone's running with all of those devices.
Every time I'm loading it.
Yeah, I can imagine. So it's the whole idea of it. You can have different rooms where, you might have one that's themed for all your Batman black and whites, or, maybe your Marvel characters or all your Ghostbusters stuff. Again, it's just about making sure we are trying to, allow fans and collectors to really have a really cool themed experience in the space. And then the next sort of natural iteration from these potential multi-room showrooms is to have those showrooms inside a world, and that world is basically going to be the VeVeVerse. So that's going to be something that we are going to kick off development on in the next sort of 1 to 2 months. We're still going through the ideation process of just sort of finalizing exactly what it's going to be and how it's going to work. But I really believe, and I think I've mentioned this in a few other videos, that we really are at a point in history where we are essentially transitioning into the matrix. There are going to be these virtual metaverses popping up everywhere, and ultimately I believe there'll be assets that you can move from one to another, or you might be known as having a specific Batman suit, jumping from different metaverse to different metaverse. And I think there's also going to be economies inside these metaverses as well. You may open your own VeVe secondhand shop in the VeVeverse, and you've got a lot of foot traffic coming through buying your collectibles. And then obviously once the gem to fiat comes out, people really could potentially make a good living through these digital spaces. So a lot of really cool stuff coming for us. It's just about continuing to innovate, and with the ethos of providing of making sure that we're constantly giving back to the fans and collectors. So sorry, I think I ended up rambling a bit there.
No, that was exciting, Dan. And from my perspective is the VeVeverse. That's what everyone talks about. All these other NFT projects are coming out. There's a new animal NFT drop every day, and they're all promising a verse of some sort. Like Super Yetis, they sort of said they're going to have one, but we all know sort of how complex that would be. So I think from seeing what you guys are doing that's what we're so excited about, and being able to walk around some sort of verse, but have like our Batman there or our Labbit or whatever else. So we see that as being the future of VeVe. Hopefully it's not too far away. Hopefully it's a year or two, but we hope that you guys are the ones that are going to deliver on it.
Yeah, well, good. Just like cheese, good things take time, and obviously the metaverse is no small undertaking. But I can assure you, it's absolutely on the roadmap, and we'll be getting kicked off pretty soon.
So I didn't know if you guys saw today, but apparently, I guess it was Coinbase had an email go out and mention VeVe and of course the Marvel partnership. Did you guys know about that, or just curious what your thoughts are on that?
I personally didn't know about that, but hey man, I love free advertising, so thanks Coinbase.
Shout out Coinbase.
Yeah.
They didn't say they're going to give us listing, did they?
No, not yet, David. That's on you.
Maybe I should check my emails, Dave.
Someone call them.
I think the thing that really excites me about VeVe is, as someone from the collectible world, the things that really drew me in were how accessible they were. I mean, pretty much everything is under $100, and I think that in the NFT world, that's outside of the norm. Many things are only $20 or $30 or $40, and B, this incredible community, right? And that's the hardest thing to build in any collectible company. And I can tell just from running into the VeVe fans here that we get some of this at Mondo too, but at VeVe I've really noticed this insane community of people that have become really, really great friends over interacting with VeVe and collecting, and that to me is the most important part of building a company like that.
Thanks, Mitch. It means a lot coming from you for sure. We definitely look up to what Mondo does, and it is all about the fandoms, so it's good.
Yeah, and just from my side, it's taken on a life of its own. Shout out to everybody in our community, all the YouTubers, everybody making content, sharing it, getting involved. Like for me personally to go from we had a Telegram group of 2,000 people for 2.5 years, and we're really unknown, and then we kind of it feels like we really just came out of the gates running, and from there the community itself has just seen this explosion of interest and fandom, and everybody's jumping into everyone else's shows now. People have their own podcasts or YouTube channels. Like it's truly incredible to see, and just the support that goes on, and everybody has found their own niche within that. I mean, some people talk about the software side of things, some people talk about the collectibles or where they were featured in comic books, or it's really crazy to be able to bring that many interests into one space. Big shout out to everybody that's really helping to progress that as well.
Yeah, I'd just like to second that. I mean, the the VeVe community is, just unlike anything that we ever anticipated. I mean, like I say, Dave and I were basically just hoping that people would like our digital Batmans. But yeah, the community that's come up around it has just, it's a massive shout out to you guys. I mean, we honestly wouldn't have probably reached the level of popularity that we have right now without all of the hard work that you guys are doing. And Rhys, I'm not sure if you've brought this up before, but we are working internally on a, some kind of ambassador program just to really, give back. You guys do so much for us, and we want to make sure that, that you're rewarded for what you're doing. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I had not made that a known thing yet, so I'm glad you did, because now I can't get in trouble.
Oh,
we got some really, really amazing ambassador program, gift coming out. So, I'm blown away with some of the concept we got presented to us, and I think Dan really likes it. We're just working out how logistically we can get these out to all our massive YouTube influencers, people who spend countless. I don't even know how some of these videos can come out moments after something goes out. There must be some bots making these.
Yeah.
When ambassador.
When ambassador, yeah.
That's the thing is it's an addiction level, which is almost worrying for some of us. I'm sure we've all had conversations with our wives and girlfriends or husbands and partners, because you just can't get off it. It's so much fun, and whether it is playing around an AR or the technical side, I think Trevor mentioned it the last time. Like, your engagement levels must be off the charts with your analytics and metrics, right?
Yeah, they are. They're actually thousands of percents above average, above the average app. So it's we are. Dave and I have considered opening a VeVe Addiction Center, which you can enter with gems, so it's all good. It's
Mistake Omi.
Mistake Omi.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quality. I think we're even talking about, we might get to a point where we have to issue a player's statement or something, just so people are aware of what they're doing.
Some kind of big warning message as you come into the app.
Yeah, you've been here for 3 days straight. Maybe take a break.
But shout out to you guys. Shout out to, obviously the Ecomi team, man. For me, it's like when I was a kid, maybe not so much, time to collect or money to collect. So I think a lot of us too that are, in our 30s or whatever, like you were talking about earlier, Dan, is that, it kind of is kind of bringing so much enjoyment, and being able to collect that digital collectible and share it across the internet is like a big deal. Like, because before there's just so many limiting factors in that, you can only show so much of that physical collectible, but with digital, it just like, there's just so many people on Twitter sharing their showrooms, and I don't know, it's just exciting time. So I just want to give thanks to you guys for that.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kyle, and likewise, you do some amazing stuff. Always in there shilling the product, so really appreciate it. So right back at you.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. That's amazing. Okay.
Hey, David and Dan, it's Chad from NFT Pirates. Just want to say, first of all, agree with everyone. Thank you so much for everything that you guys have done. I'll never forget, getting my first Rizzo, and it reminded me of the first time I ever got a Charizard, and it was just such an overwhelming feeling. So I haven't had that in 10 years. So I appreciate that, first of all. But one of the things I just wanted to say was, I feel really sorry for people that don't understand the massive implications that are on the way. As an example, this Halloween, I'm going to be having a Halloween party, but I'm not going to be using physical items anymore that cost $300-400. I'm going to be just using my phone and augmented reality or different iPads around the room. And, I think in the future, it might not be now, but in 5 to 10 years from now, that would probably be a pretty standard thing, I would imagine.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think, like I say, I believe we are at a transition point of physical to digital, especially with things like AR and blockchain. It is allowing us to have ownership over these digital assets, which is still very new. I mean, but I really think, everyone in the room right now, really you guys are the early adopters, and well done for getting a Rizzo. That thing just seems to continue to go up in price, and I constantly kick myself for not buying more when there were thousands available in the store back in the day.
Yeah, super happy about that one. It's I tend to look at it at least once.
Yeah, I'm a little bit jealous. I didn't listen to my gut, and I still got obviously a really cool Batman, the Becky Cloonan, but yeah, the Todd though, Dan, you said you worked on that. I remember staring at a lot of those Series 1 Batmans and just like deciding like which one to even get because they were also awesome.
Yeah, I think the cool thing about the which I guess a lot of the community knows is that Batman number 100, Todd McFarlane, that was the very first NFT ever minted on VeVe. So and it was the first appearance of Batman in premium digital, and of course Todd McFarlane. I mean, the guy is epically well known in the comic and pop culture industry. So yeah, I see. I haven't actually looked at the price recently of what. Anyone know what those Todds are going for?
3.2 is the floor. 3.2.
3.2. Wow.
Really?
I'm even regretting more now that I didn't.
I think that was the Rizzo. I think the Todd is 350 maybe.
Oh, excuse me.
You can you'll occasionally be able to get one. Yeah, right around 300 if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
Depends if Ray's been
open...
shopping though.
Yeah, should we open any question to the floor?
Yeah, we're about 45 minutes in. I'll reset a little bit at the moment.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I got a question from the community, if you don't mind, real quick, for Frank. I just want to say real quick too before the question, to Dan and David, and it's nice to finally meet you guys, and I appreciate everything you guys have done. It's crazy to see the growth from 3 months ago, and just excited for the future. Next, 3, 6, 9 months, it's going to be, I think, just epic. So just want to say that before this question. But this question comes from Sarah Jane Adams. She just wanted to know for Frank, basically, being like a established artist in the physical world for so long for NFTs, how has your experience with VeVe and the getting into the digital collectible side kind of compared to being such a established artist in the physical world?
To tell you the truth, at first it was just like when I was starting out then. Like I got interested, some friends of mine started minting NFTs 3-4 months ago, had some success. I'm like, this seems interesting. And, I had been wanting to get my hands on a little cryptocurrency, but I didn't want to buy it. So I'm like, well, maybe I'll try this and I can get some crypto, right? So I started researching it, looking at all the different platforms. I joined Clubhouse. Clubhouse was super informative. I learned people on Clubhouse are really good about telling you how to get stuff done and sharing information. So, after a few Clubhouse rooms, I went and opened myself an account over on Foundation, and I opened an account on OpenSea, and I was just like, the hell with it. I'll just throw some NFTs out there. And I actually did pretty well. I mean, on that 3-month period on the Wildcat market, the open market, I sold about 160 pieces. So I was like, wow, this is really cool. And I got all energized, and it sort of started doing some creative new stuff, right? Because it was kind of I was getting results, and there were no expectations because it wasn't any of my old collectors, right? It was all new people that appreciate what I was doing just in this format. So I had a really positive experience with NFTs, and I've been talking to Dave. We talked about this a long time ago, right? And then when we reconnected, I was like, okay, I'm totally understand this. This is totally great. I see where this is going in the long term. This is I can't afford myself, even though I do well, I can't afford to hire animators and, do all this sort of really high end stuff, right? To add an extra dimension to my work. I can get physical stuff made. I can do 2D and that sort of a thing. But there was this whole other world of games, interactivity, all this stuff that I see coming on this platform, right? Entering this total different world with a lot of users that are having a good time, and that sort of stuff really tends to go well. Like that was really attractive. Like they talk about the metaverse, but it's kind of like a few things I went to out there, like they were kind of clunky, whereas the VeVe stuff works really well. Okay. So know David, know that he's coming at it from a collector's like heart and soul, right? Like he really loves the stuff he's putting on his company. He's just not like a business guy with a lot of money that was like, this thing seems to be doing well. Let's dabble in this. No, he's really devoted himself to the platform. He understands collecting. I like his taste in collectibles. We got along in person. Like everything was perfect. So when he gave me the offer, I was like, this is amazing. This is like such a leap for me in the future, right? My whole career, and I've been working for 40 years, I always try to keep up with current technology and sort of the opportunities they bring to get my art out there. And this is like, the next step. And I feel like I'm going into it like with, a battle tech around me. Like, I couldn't think of a better situation because I'm not interested in like, I have connections into some of those fancy sites, right? Through, the businesses that I do, right? And, I could have got a nifty gateway drop or something if I had really worked on it. But to me, that just sort of smacks as a sort of a one-time, like, well, let's try to get a bunch of rich people to buy and that's not my market. That's not who my stuff is for, right? Like, I'm a collector. I come from punk rock. I'm a populist. I don't like being like, it's fun to have editions and, have some collectability and the chase is good as a collector. But like, I like the fact that these NFTs are going to be reasonably priced. There's a great context. All the record keeping is being done. They've got their own block. It's like a secure, perfect system. No hanky-panky quality product. And the people that own it and run it have got themselves really invested in it for reasons beyond commerce, right? So to me, that's sort of the best opportunity. So I have to say that as a creator that's had, long-term career in the physical world, this is the science fiction stories I read back in the 70s and 80s as a kid, like neuromancers come real, right? Like that it's happening. And I'm super, super, super privileged and stoked that VeVe is going to allow me to be part of it in like a way that's really functional. I could not be happier. I hope people like my offerings. I hope people have a good time collecting them. I like talking to the fans. I'm available on all my social channels. I'll answer anybody. I want to be involved and I want to help this evolve. Like I already have all these ideas of like, what if we could do this? What if we could do that? And hopefully some of those will come true. And that'll be like a really important milestone for me creatively.
And hey, Frank, leading up to your drop tomorrow, let everybody know that you told me you kind of have an idea. Hopefully, who knows how to work out, but if people have your whole set as it moves down, something special might happen for them in the future.
I mean, for the first few drops, VeVe knows what they're doing. I'm the last person to tell the brain surgeon how to operate. So, I gave them all the stuff I want to give them. They're looking at it. They're going to curate the drops the way they see fit. I couldn't be happier because, like, I don't have to pay a professional to do that because they're doing it right.
100%.
So
yeah.
I totally trust what they're doing because, like, they've spent years of their lives building not only the business and the website, but like how they're going to plan the drops, right? So everybody's happy. It's not just about maximum money, but they're always figuring out how to make everybody happy. And to me, that is that's rare when it comes to businesses, right? So like, I really like them as people. I like kind of like what's behind their company that way, because I think they're going to offer like the best quality experience for a collector or a casual visitor possible. And that's great.
Nice. Very good point. Thank you. I will say that the quality actually, guys, the whole team has gotten noticeably better. Like, we really love to see, like, some of the stuff is really good, even starting with Simone Legno and, like, Slimer's really amazing. The quality is
the Slimer was really cool.
Good. The art stuff, like, it's really getting great. We're very happy. Thanks, Frank. I love the candor.
Also, as a collector, I have a problem, right? Like, I love my collections, but like everything's in storage because like I don't have, a Pentagon to display it in, right? It is a problem in collectibles, especially in other cultures. Like, I used to sell a lot of posters and prints. My designs were very popular in Japan, but it only sold on clothing because people just didn't have the wall space, right? I mean, literally, if you're a toy collector, there's only so many, 8-inch dummies are going to fit in your house, right? So what I started seeing, I actually noticed this with some card collecting apps a couple of years ago that friends of mine were into, was like, okay, this is kind of like a collector's dream. Like, you're going to have an infinite stuff to collect, and you're going to have like a way to carry your entire collection like in your pocket, right? And it can never get rained on. You don't have to worry about like packing it and moving it. It's like it's really cool for collectors. It's indexed, it's instantly there. You can show everybody your thing. The showroom thing is awesome, right? It's like perfect, man. Yeah.
100%. Hey, I just wanted to say, Frank, that point about the collecting space. I'm sitting right now around like my Star Wars figures, Hot Wheels, Funkos, like Mondo records, graphic novels, and you guys are just like saying, yeah, because you just have to take my word for it. Now, this is, like you're saying, you could just share your collecting space. It's going to be amazing.
And even some of the collectibles that you would have, some people don't want to bring them out or display them because they're better off being kept, safe in a glass case or whatever. And VeVe,
And the other thing I want to address too, so like, the whole thing of like people flipping, right? Secondary markets, has been an up and down thing. And, because I've always dealt in collectible spaces. It was rock posters, it was vinyl records, it was like limited edition prints and it's toys, clothing, all that stuff, right? And there's always this dialogue where like, oh, do you like flippers or hate them? I personally love flippers because if your stuff is getting flipped, that means it has value both aesthetically and economically, and that's the perfect mix, right? So it's like, yes, people are smart. They figure out ways to game the system. And maybe it's up to, and I know VeVe does this, to find a different way to do it, right? It's never going to be perfect, but I do like the fact that unlike a lot of the other platforms I'm seeing, like VeVe is taking a long-term strategy, investment and plan in sort of like keeping the aftermarket like super legit, right? There's no way to bootleg stuff. You instantly know if somebody's being an abuser, right? True value to the fans will find its different levels and plateaus over time. It's all indexed. It's like a dream come true. It's like a really, really great way to actually make this fair for everybody. And sometimes the competition to get the stuff in the drops, if they're super popular, is kind of part of the thrill, right? As a collector, like, you get there and you're, okay, fuck, am I going to get it? And that has value. That experience has value, because that's, I think, what most, I know me, it's all about like the idea of it and the chase and the hunt, right? And then you get it and you're like, you savor it, and, then it's kind of like on to the next, right? Because that's how it works. It's triggering all the pleasures in your brain. So I think their system is a very fair and controlled way to do that.
Yeah, and just to touch on that, Frank, back in the early days when we had a few issues with the drops, where the system was getting overloaded, there was a lot of cry out for, some sort of form of lottery system. But now that the drops are all kind of, very, very smooth for anyone who's participated in them in the last couple of months, I see an increasing amount of comments that, people just love the rush. They love the adrenaline rush, being there, trying to get that, hit that buy now button in a matter of seconds just to get.
Just like Blind Box, dude. Blind Box, I still get excited, right? So it's like, it's part. The gamble is part of the thrill. And any real collector understands that and does not have a problem with it.
Just on that,
the degenerate collector.
Yeah, that's it. The drop days, the system that we've designed for it, that's always been part of our plans. I mean, do you want to give some insight into what that stemmed from? Is it was it intentional to design it for that rush because of the collectibles experience, or?
Yeah, in the early days, I remember we'd go, when Dave and I would be over in New York talking to licensors, and then he would be like, Dan, you've got to go sign up to this website. I've got to get a line I've got to get in line at at the next Supreme drop. So every time we're in the States, we land, and we go and we find when the next Supreme release is going to be, and then sign up to the email, and just hope we manage to get a spot on the line. And it just made us realize that that whole drop model is very, very much a part of the collectible world. I mean, even when we were based over in Taiwan, I remember I wake up in the morning, and the area I was living in, there were a lot of these sort of hypebeast stores, and I'd get up go for a walk to get my early morning coffee, and there would just be people literally lining up around and around the blocks, just to get this new watch or this new pair of shoes. And seeing that and experiencing the whole sort of Supreme model, you realize that it's such it's such an exciting thing for fans to be a part of, for that adrenaline rush, like I say, to be able to get in there. So that was really when we when we decided, and this is going back probably like a year and a half or more, that the drop model would be the way to go.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it, as we've just discussed, people really, I think, are getting addicted to just that part of it too, right? There's so many tips and tricks available now. Shout out Granola. He's got a whole list of drop tips, and every week or second week there seems to be a new one added to the list on how you might be able to get that millisecond of advantage over other people. So even seeing that play out has been pretty incredible. But yeah, it's a very different experience now compared to what it was 3 months ago when things were getting overloaded. So it out to the devs too for really perfecting that system.
I was innovating it. The CTO, and I mean, it is actually very amazing the work that those guys have done, in the sense that we are now processing tens of thousands of orders in a matter of seconds, and that's a long way from where we were. Anyone who's an OG, back in the day when it might take you 2 or 3 hours just to get past that cursed loading screen. Whereas now, the app remains very, very responsive, and it's just, we really have sort of rebuilt and re-engineered the back end for the next phase. And obviously with brands like Marvel, with artists like Frank coming in, we're really opening up to, much wider audiences. And absolutely anticipate that the user base is going to grow. Feel very confident now that the system and the infrastructure is very much ready for some growth.
Hey Jordan,
Hey Dan,
yeah, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, hey Dan, I have a quick question for you. Keen, appreciate you so much for having me in here. My brother Jason, in the followed by the speaker, got me into VeVe a few months ago, so shout out to him. Thank you so much. So first thing is, I'd love to see the edition number, and for example, a transparent icon above each collectible in my virtual showroom. Would it be possible to make a toggle on-off switch for that? And then second question is, does VeVe have exclusive rights with these brands?
So for the first question, are you referring to the ability to show your edition number or something like that alongside the collectible in your showroom?
Yeah. So I have multiples of certain NFTs, and I want to know which one's which. And then I'm always showing off my collection to people, and they're like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then I want to be able to be like, yeah, I got the 101 here, and then this one's the 69, that one's the 72. So something like that with like an on-off switch. Is that possible in the virtual showroom?
Yes, that absolutely is possible, and it's on the roadmap as well. The ability to, I think just that in itself, yes, you managed to get this cool collectible, but what adds that extra layer of kudos is the edition number. If you were managed to get in there and praise the Lords, you managed to get a number 41 or sub 100. There's a huge drive to want to show that off, and that absolutely is coming. For the second question, I mean, I think the thing to understand about licensors is that, is really to think about them where they have been and how they've operated up till this point in time. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you take Batman, for example. I mean, Batman is licensed across everything from a t-shirt to a school bag to your cup of tea mug. And that's because licensors have a job, and their job is to get that IP out, across as many different brands as they can. So while we do have some exclusivity with the brands that we have, for the most part, licensors don't work in a world of exclusivity. And, from their point of view, you can understand they're not about limiting their options as to where they can go. Their job is to basically, push and promote that IP out to as many channels as they can. However, in saying that, one thing that licensors are very aware of is the importance of not diluting any kind of IP that is out there at the moment. So to give you an example of that, like the Batman Black and White line, obviously, which they've got the physical version, we're now selling the 3D digital version. It would be very, very unlikely that that 3D asset that you see in VeVe now would ever be replicated again in a digital collectible space. For the reason being is that, if 10,000 of them exist now, and then DC were to, potentially license them to another company who was doing the same thing, they would ultimately be diluting their own market, and there would be a lot of backlash from fans. Our perspective on it is really that, the fans and collectors are going to go where the most enjoyment and the most fun is. And that's why, for me, or for my role in the company, is about constantly making sure we're innovating and bringing in, cool new features and enhancements that, take what we've got now and extend that enjoyment even further. So even if someone else did bring out a 2D image of a Batman somewhere, that's cool. But, the enjoyment and the fun experience around that is very, very limited.
Dan, thank you so much. I appreciate you clarifying that. Thanks, man.
Yeah, and Jordan's brother Jason, who we mentioned, is on stage. We'll give him 1 second if he wants to say something. He's actually on a mission to have every single collectible, and I think you're only 1 or 2 away. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm getting pretty close, but unfortunately I left the most expensive ones to complete it. So yeah, right now I'm in the process of taking out a home equity line of credit to make it work.
I hope that's a joke.
I don't know if it is.
Let me forward on the link to the VeVe Addiction Center for you.
No, it's
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah, but no, well done on I mean that's honestly that's an impressive feat to have all of the collection except for a couple. That's well done to you.
There's a lot of really big time collectors in this room. Frank Smith really is, and Crypto Wizard has been in this club from literally day one. It's how we met. Good friend of mine now, really good dude. There's Cameron is unbelievable down at the bottom left there. Him and I talk every day. There's really big time collectors. I'm missing a whole bunch of people. Dan with the monkey there runs another great Facebook group. Wendy's a big time fan. There's a whole bunch of people. If anybody wants to unmute and say a little something, we can keep going. But I just wanted to say that and represent for a lot of people. Hopefully we get a chance that everybody that I said could speak could get a chance.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I just had a quick question.
Okay, you go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead, then Dan.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Oh, my fault.
You're good,
so
man.
Just directed to David and Dan. Just out of curiosity, I think you guys are all, it seems, champion of industry, and it's just such an all-star team. Now, I think you guys hit a grand slam teaming up with Al Khan. How'd you guys go about recruiting him? How'd that conversation go?
Well, it actually, I'm not, in case the audience doesn't know, I mean, David and I have actually known each other for about 20 odd something years. When he first opened his hobbyist collectible store back in I think it was 1998, I just started my first business, which was sort of web development and all that kind of techie stuff. He was looking for a website. I was offering them, and that's kind of how we got involved. But David has actually known Al Khan since way back in those days as well, since early 2000s. David was actually one of the very first people to take a punt on Pokemon, bring it down to Australia, bring it into Asia, and obviously, the rest is history. The product went very, very well. I think it really kickstarted David's career in terms of his sort of collectible businesses. And then I think they, hadn't spoken for a while. And then it was about, it must have been going back about 4 years ago, ran into Al at one of the toy fairs up in Asia. And then, just got to talking about what was, what we were doing and what he was doing. And he absolutely, Al is a visionary. We've got to remember he's in the Licensing Hall of Fame. He's brought, Pokemon, you just have to say, Al was the one who created Pokemon. He named Ash. He co-wrote the Pokemon song. So he immediately saw the potential in the opportunity that we were doing, which is good because, I can tell you guys honestly that no one, really even understood or believed in what we were doing. And, we just had to keep pressing on, and it was the support, from people like Al. And then obviously because Al is, in the Licensing Hall of Fame, a lot of the people who used to work for Al are now in positions of, power in a lot of these IP companies. So he would basically do the intro. Dave and I would go in there and do the pitch. And then that's, the relationship just kind of kept sort of fostering from there. And, Al's such a nice guy, lives in New York. Whenever we go over there, he always lets us stay in his 5-level penthouse. So I'm on one floor, Dave's on another floor. Really, really nice guy. So looking forward to getting back to New York at some time to be able to catch up with him.
One thing I love about you guys and this company, amongst others, is how candid you guys all are. And that's just so uncommon in most big companies. So, it almost feels like a small family-led company, but you guys are just crushing it. And I love you guys. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. At the end of the day, we're just, like everyone, we're just humans who love to collect and love to create cool things. So, yeah, there's no real ego involved. It's actually more humbling than anything, just with all the support that we've had.
And Dan and Rhys, is there any word on the Alfred Kahn interview? A few people have asked that.
We are actually trying to book in a time for this week, but Al's in Italy at the moment, I think, so it's either going to be very late night for him or very early morning for me. So we'll just see if the schedules match up there. But it's definitely in the works. We're trying to.
We know who's going to lose out there, Rhys. Sorry.
Yeah, I also know who's going to lose out there. Let's be real.
for Alfred.
Yeah, for the sake of Al, But yeah. So no, look, we're trying to find that a good time to put this on. I have a feeling, I've already collected quite a lot of community questions for that interview, and we'll dive more into the story of probably that approach, as Dan just touched on as well. So personally, I want to be able to do it at a time where we actually have some time to sit and chat, not where everybody has to rush off to the next meeting. So yeah, we'll make it happen. It's on the way, just to give people more insight into that. I think people that have been around for a while probably know a fair bit of that story anyway, but I'm really excited to hear Al's vision of this as well. I think, Dan, you said to me early on that the words had kind of come out of Al's mouth that he really wanted this transition into digital toys and collectibles to be part of his legacy. So I'd really like to dive into that a bit more and really pin down the scope of his vision and how that has affected the way that we've designed the platform too. So it'll be exciting when it happens.
Very cool, very cool. Let's reset the room for 1 second and let everybody know if you guys want to click that greenhouse at the top, you can follow this club. We actually are on here a lot of drop days, and we get in and we kind of talk about strategy. And if you hear my man Crypto Wizard down at the bottom, you will learn a lot. I'm going to try and get him to ask a question soon because he probably has an interesting one. And we welcome everybody here. This is really awesome. We're having so much fun listening to everybody. I think maybe we'll try and move around the room a little bit. Dan S. was trying to ask a question. Mario would like to ask a question after that. And maybe we'll go down to Frank S. and see who else wants to ask after that. But go ahead, Dan.
Yeah. Hey, guys. This is Dan. I'm the admin of another Facebook group, VeVe Collectibles. Right now, I'm just struggling to stay awake because I woke up at 4 a.m. here. Yeah, first of all, just wanted to say great job so far on everything regarding the app. Absolutely amazing what you guys did. And I just wanted to ask for the future. So right now, we all know the transition to Immutable X is coming. And as you guys hinted out, this might mean that at some point, we might see the VeVe collectibles on some other platforms. What does this mean for example, the FAs and FEs edition? Because right now these are have any value just on the VeVe platform. But once you get them out, for example, on OpenSea, a Batman FA won't actually be an FA since you might find some other Batmans on there. So what do you guys think about the future of FAs and FEs?
Yeah, I mean, I think an FA or an FE will always remain true to the collectible and will always be a part of that collectible. I mean, in the same way that, let's say I've got the first appearance of Superman in a comic, whether I sell that on eBay or whether I sell it in person or sell it at a con event, it's still an FA. And, while there's been some Batmans out there of various different types, I think there's been a couple of unlicensed, Batman images that have been out there. The Batmans that have been sold through VeVe are the first appearance of those type of models. I mean, this is the Batman Black and White series. This is the first appearance of those collectibles in digital format. So, I wouldn't think that moving the collectibles around to other platforms would at all detract from that sort of first appearance or first edition.
Okay, thanks for that.
Hey guys, can I ask something?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey, well, this is Wendy. I am one of the moderators with Dan on VeVe Collectibles, and I just want to say thank you for building such a strong community around the globe. I really love it to be able to communicate with people in Cambodia, in the UK. I am in Mexico right now, so that's why my accent is horrible, but still I want to say thank you. And because of that, I want to ask if there is a chance that the app has like another languages besides just English, maybe Spanish or I don't know. Do you have any plan for that?
Yes, absolutely. Great question. Thank you. And I do love your accent. I did live in Mexico for over a year down on the Caribbean coast, and I am still regretting the day that I left. Yes, the app itself is already designed and set up for what we call or what we term localization. It's really just a matter of getting the resources on board for us to go through and do the translation of all the language files that are in there right now. And Spanish will be right up there as one of the top ones that we implement. We obviously, I think I've mentioned this in a few other events like this, that we have obviously got quite a wide roadmap of what we want to do. And a lot of that stuff got put on hold while we were refactoring the system to cater for the massive growth. So yes, absolutely, we have localization coming on board. So expect to see that at some point in the future.
Thank you, Dan.
And Mario, I think you got a question. If you want to go next. Thanks, Wendy. Awesome. Sorry about cutting you off if I did, but
yeah. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. First of all, Frank, congratulations on the drop. Very exciting.
Thanks, man.
Dan, can we talk a little bit about the Master Collector program? As a collector, what should we be targeting right now? Is there a certain type of collectible, a certain threshold, whether it be number of collectibles, number of full sets that we should be looking for? And then tying it into Frank, could we see a Frank Kozik Master Collector or a Labbit Master Collector, something like that in the works?
So the Master Collector program is in the works at the moment. It is, we are still really defining the last little bits of exactly how it's going to work. As I mentioned previously, we really need to make sure, because it's a leveling system that provides people advantages or rewards, we have to make sure it's very, very fair, in the sense that we can't have it all about the person who has the most collectibles or the person who has the most money, because ultimately that's going to end up excluding all of the people who aren't in that position. So it very much is going to be a fairly balanced program overall. And I know you're probably going to be annoyed with me for saying this, but I really don't want to say too much now about what and how the Master Collector is going to work, because I don't want to influence people too much until it comes out. And the other thing is, I don't want to be promising something now that we may end up scrapping in the Master Collector program as we go through all of our internal testing. Sometimes we just cut things if we don't think they're working, or we'll add in a new feature. So my response is that we will be bringing out writing an article about the Master Collector and how that's going to work. So please, if you don't mind, just a bit of patience waiting for that to come out.
Thanks, Dan.
I'd just like to shout out to Mario for his CryptoPunk purchase yesterday as well. Congratulations, Mario.
Thank you.
It's pretty nice.
That's right. Did I say Frank? You on the thing, or Crypto Wizard? Crypto Wizard, you just unhooked. Both you guys did. So Crypto Wizard, then Frank, and I think I saw Jonas also, who's an amazing artist on Hook. So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's just top marks. Like it's so amazing to be able to show people their collectibles in AR and stuff like that. So I do quite a bit of trying to talk to some people about cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff, and nothing has the effect of having the AR apps for a lot of people. Like out the front of my shop, I have people that I hand them my tablet or my phone, and they're walking around a DeLorean, and it's especially with the new upgrades, it's like it's there. They don't want to walk through it and stuff. They're interacting with it like it's a real object while they're just looking through a phone. And then once I tell them, they can sort of just walk down and duck down and look out through the dash and stuff. You just see them being really impressed, seeing all the dials and all that stuff. And I get some really funny pictures of people just squatting in the middle of nowhere out in the front car park. But I was just wondering what sort of things that we could look forward to with the upgrades of the AR, and if there's anything in the lighting or the interactivity and stuff. Is that something that's waiting on upgrades on the app side, or is that waiting until our phones are capable of doing it without getting really hot?
Great question. I actually remember, a couple of people who don't really know what I do. I don't really bother explaining it to them anymore. I just drop the DeLorean, add 1-to-1 size, and go, here you go. This is the kind of thing they do. And it's awesome to see the delight on their face. And the time that I realized that maybe we've got an experience that is quite special is that a lot of people they're looking through the phone, and they might be, sitting or positioned in the driver's seat, and then they literally reach their hand forward to grab the steering wheel because the experience is so real. And I have to go over and whisper in their ear, like, it's not really there. It's just in the phone. So it's quite funny to see, people's different reactions to it. But in terms of the, the AR side of things, we are always innovating behind the scenes. We're never staying static with any of the features that we have. I think the only one that's falling a little bit behind at the moment is the feed, but we've got some pretty cool updates coming to that. So, some of the things that you can expect to see in the future within the AR side of things is, number one, we are improving what's called real-time dynamic lighting. So when you drop your collectible in AR right now, it's just using the default lights that we have set up in the 3D environment. But the dynamic lighting will actually do its best to mimic whatever the lighting is in the environment that you drop the collectible in, just for slightly more realistic photos, so that it really looks like the collectible is embedded into the real world environment. And another part of that is, number one, the lighting, and then also the shadows. So for example, you're able to if the shadows are all pointing in one direction in the real world, when you drop your AR object, you want the shadows for that to be going in the same direction as well. Again, just to make, to really try to place that collectible as realistically as we can. Now, that feature is generally only available on newer and more modern devices because it has to do quite a lot of special things to get the environment lighting and then apply that to the AR scene. So one of the other features that we have coming up is lighting presets. And these will be like nighttime, sunset, midday. And the cool thing about these is you can tap on them. You're then able to sort of rotate the quote unquote sun around. So you can, again, adjust the angle of the light, adjust the angle of the shadow, and then also adjust the intensity of the light. And these tools are really just coming into play to try to get that more realistic embedding of the AR item in the real world. And one of the other features that I don't think we've actually announced yet that is coming into the platform at some point soon. It's still going through development at the moment. Okay, see you, babe. Is occlusion. So a lot of you guys probably know that with the newer devices, especially on iPhone, you've got features like LiDAR, which will basically scan your environment. And what occlusion will do is that it will allow you to place your AR collectibles behind another object. So let's say you wanted to put your DeLorean behind a corner, and then if you were filming a video, you'd be able to walk up to it and then walk around that corner. Let's just say there's a building on the corner, and then your DeLorean would appear. So again, all of these kind of feature sets are about embedding the collectibles more into the real world to have that more kind of realistic experience.
Can't wait.
Hi, thanks so much, Michael, for giving me the word. I'm Frank,
Yes,
living
sir.
in Hong Kong, and nice to be connected. Hi, Dan and Rhys. It's great you are here on Clubhouse. I've been an early collector of art on Clubhouse. I also like to congratulate Frank with his new drops. I've been a number of in your rooms, and it's just super cool. And Frank, the way you shared and spoke about, and share that between your listeners is really fantastic. So, of course, I have been collecting VeVes. Also own some Omi coin. I really believe in what you all are doing. So in that sense, all kudos and congratulations for the amazing rise that you all have accomplished. So I have just one question, maybe to Dan. Being in art, we are initiating some activities here and launches in Hong Kong. We are working with an artist which is also hugely famous from the 70s. I would love to share that with someone of your team because I think it could be amazing for VeVe. So could you maybe recommend how I can be in touch with you or someone of your team? Love to discuss that. So thanks so much for giving me the time, Michael.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Frank, for all your support. Yeah, now in terms of contacting someone in the team, the best person to reach out to is probably Rhys, or maybe just send a message via our Twitter, and then it'll get passed on to the right people. One thing with artists is that we have coming at some point in the future. I know I've got a lot of things coming in the future. Is our Artist Alley program, and the whole idea here is that there might be artists out there who maybe don't quite fit into the premium brands that we do, but in of themselves they create some really cool works. And that could be 2D or that could be 3D. There's a lot of amazing 3D artists out there that create their own their own objects or their own 3D items. That I see out there that I would absolutely love to have as collectibles in my showroom or in my digital collection. So yeah, through this Artist Alley program, artists will be able to sign up or apply, and then be able to sell their items directly through the app under an Artist Alley program. But in the meantime, yeah, please do feel free to reach out to us via Twitter, and yeah, we'll have somebody take a look at it.
Thanks so much, Dan. I will definitely reach out to Rhys. And I've had a number of talks with fellow collectors, and the art collectors, they really reckon that collectibles need to be part of their portfolio. So I've been very much a vocal fan of promoting VeVe because I think you guys are the ones to follow. So thanks again, and yeah, we keep following you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Dan.
One of the things, sorry, just to jump in there, one of the cool things about collectibles, I mean, in the art world, a lot of people do prints, and that really is sort of a form of collectible. And the cool thing about this digital space is that you don't necessarily have to sell your item as a one-of-one, although you will be able to in the future. But yeah, the ability to do a print run of 200 or 300 is also really cool. Sorry, whoever I interrupted.
Hey Dan, it's Jonas, the skull with the butterflies right next to you. I had a question because you have digital collectibles, and I also heard you talking about toys. Do you have or plan to make collectible toys with the augmented reality counterpart that reacts on the collectible toy?
Yes, I mean, we really define, I mean, I guess in our business, we sort of, in a way, define our collectibles as digital toys, especially as we start to add in more interactivity, like, for example, the drivable DeLorean. I mean, anything that has a play pattern like that, where you can get enjoyment by interacting with it in some way, it ultimately is a toy. So for us, there is a sort of a thin line between, a digital collectible and a digital toy. So yeah, to answer your question, long story short, yes, you can absolutely expect to see, these sort of digital toys, although they will still be limited edition, come onto the platform.
I guess what I meant is a physical collectible toy with the augmented reality counterpart. That the toy is also a physical collectible.
Right. Yes. Absolutely. I think we did announce a while ago that the very first VeVe NFT and VeVe physical collectible will be coming out in the next couple of months, and that's a collab piece that we've done with Ron English, where if you're lucky enough to get one of the NFTs of the particular item, then 4 weeks you're going to receive a beautiful box with the actual physical version of that artwork.
Thank you. It sounds exciting. Thank you.
I might just jump in there and add my 2 cents too. I think one of the really beautiful things that we can offer on VeVe when it comes to toys, compared to the physical collecting world, is that you get the item as a collectible and you get to enjoy it as a toy. Whereas if you're collecting a physical piece, I mean, if it's as a collectible, well, then maybe you keep it behind a display case, and you get to enjoy it by looking at it, but maybe not by playing with it or interacting with it. Whereas moving that same premise into the digital world lets you do both. That's something that's really always appealed to me. And I know that obviously we have digital comics on the way now as well. We haven't really dived into that yet. But having the ability to own that as a digital item and read it or interact with it, I think just it's really using digital technologies to enhance the collectibles experience. So yeah, that's my 2 cents there. Dan, I don't know if you want to maybe give some insight into the comics side of things while we're here.
Yes, I can. And then, I apologize. I will have to jump after that. The work never ceases, especially pre-drop day. So yeah, I mean, I am super excited about the digital comics coming out. Obviously, it's something that we've been working on for a very long time, so it's been very depressing not being able to talk to anyone about it. But really, I think the thing I'm most excited about is that these digital comics really give the fan or the collector or the comic reader the best of both worlds, in the sense that number one, you have to try and get the comic, which is the same in the real world. A new comic comes out and it's limited edition. You've got to line up around the corner to get it, or in our case, you've got to try and get it in a drop. And then the second part of that is, you can actually, what most people do if they get a very sought after comic is, similar to like what Rhys said, they will pick it up and with white gloves and, treat it ever so carefully and then get it sealed inside a plastic sleeves in order for it to maintain its perfection. But the great thing again about digital is that, you can read this comic as many times as you want, you can move it around, you can put it in your showrooms, and of course the quality is still there. And then on the other side of that, of course, you can continue to, buy, sell, or trade the comics with other VeVe users. So you really have that full gamut of experiences, when it comes to comics on the VeVe platform. And just to give you guys a bit more insight into what that experience is going to be like, we aren't just selling comic covers or comic artwork. You will actually be buying the full edition of that comic. We're right now in the process of putting our finishing touches on our beautiful e-reader. And as I mentioned, you're also able to display those comics in your showroom. There is some really cool AR stuff that I won't say too much about now, but we'll bring out some demos maybe in 3 weeks. And yeah, again, for us, it's just about the experience, making sure that we're, we never really develop things for us. We really try to read what is happening out there in the real world and really what, pushes people's buttons for enjoyment, and try to bring that into the digital space. One little tidbit that I will drop is that when you buy a comic, it will be somewhat of a blind box experience, in the sense that you might buy a comic and then you will have a 1 in X chance of getting the secret rare cover or the ultra rare cover. So that's going to be, something quite new coming to VeVe, this sort of blind box style experience. And so, yeah, for anyone out there, good luck getting some of these ultra rares or secret rares.
Awesome.
I think people are going to enjoy that. Go for it, mate. Sorry. Oh, and sorry, just before that, Dan, shall we say goodbye? Shall we part ways?
I can
Dan we've taken a lot of Dan's time. It was an absolute pleasure, Dan. Thanks for being so candid on everything except for the Master Collector, but we're still all waiting with bated breath for that. And thank David for us also. It was great of him to take time, and it was riveting to hear him speak. Everybody is really excited about that, so make sure that he knows that we really appreciated it. And hopefully, again in the future, we can do this again.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me on, and good luck everyone for the drop tomorrow.
Pleasure, man.
Thanks, guys.
Yep. Awesome. And let me remind everybody, Frank Kozik is in the room here. He's been so gracious with his time as well. His drop is tomorrow, and we are all super excited about that one. Like I keep saying, we don't have to worry about it selling out. He probably doesn't want me to say that, but we know it's going to. It's gonna be fun. The ultra rare is gonna be hard to get. It's gonna be a race. If you get one, show it off on Twitter. Like and follow everybody up in this room. If anybody follows me, I'll follow you back. I'll go through my list and follow you. But we're going to keep it going a little bit. Is anybody up on stage here that has a question? I see some.
Yeah, I got a question for Frank.
Go ahead, man.
All right. So, Frank, new to the collecting space through VeVe. I mean, collected cards, baseball cards and stuff as a kid, but nothing serious. VeVe, in my adult age, is bringing a lot of us, I think a lot of us feel like this, introduced to digital collecting, and it's turning us into physical collectors. I'm super fascinated with the art aspect of VeVe as well. So I'm doing all of this background check on Ron English, who dropped earlier, fascinating artist. You in your style, fascinating art, loving your art. So I know that VeVe is going to turn, you're welcome. I know it's going to turn a lot of us fans of VeVe into diehard fans of Frank Kozik and Ron English and whoever else comes into Artist Alley. As digital collectors, we notice that on the physical side, a lot of the physical collectors of our digital collectibles are a little reluctant to cross over into that digital realm of collecting. A lot of them come over smooth transfer, no problem at all. So I was curious, on your side of the fence, being a artist, do you hear rumblings of that with your artists that you brush shoulders with? Because I know that's a real tight knit community, and all of the renowned artists kind of know each other. Is that something that you think will be easily adopted? Are you doing recruiting on some of your favorite artists over there? Do you see a lot of them moving over into this digital area? Just curious as to see it from your eyes.
Quite a few, actually. I mean, a lot of the artists I know they're younger than me, and they're a little bit more advanced these days. And so I think, there might be a couple of people that are like, not for me, but I would say I started getting into the NFT digital space because artist friends of mine started exploring it and they had success, right? And what's interesting and what's actually really cool is that, like, I'm not trying to convert anybody that is a current collector of my physical pieces. I'm making them aware of it, on my social media, but I don't expect a lot of them to cross over immediately. What's exciting for me is meeting the new collectors like you, right? Like people that may have never seen my stuff. They're like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. Start digging around, and you find something that's interesting to you. So for me, when I first got into the NFT space, that was not a concern. I didn't try to drag anybody kicking and screaming. At the same time, I haven't heard a lot of complaints either. I've got a few like negative comments here and there right early on, but like 5 or 6 negative posts and like thousands of positive ones, and I've probably gained like 1,000 Twitter followers. They're mostly VeVe people, right, in the last few days. So to me, that's great because I'm still going to make the stuff for my physical collectors. I've got, programs for fine art prints and physical toys of all sorts and all the stuff I already make. But now it's like I have a whole new other group of people I can reach, and and I am interested in what they're into. I hang out on Clubhouse almost every night. I'm very fascinated by this new scene. I really like it. It makes me feel good. It seems very positive for me. It's going to allow me to reach an awful lot of people with a product that they enjoy, right? that's affordable. Like you don't have to spend, 2 Ethereum, right? Like that's a lot of money, right? So I'm in it for a long game. Like I want to work with VeVe for it's going to be a minimum of 3 years, and I'm going to work with them hand in glove to not only give them, the designs, but to like make the designs more interesting, more rewarding for the people that want to collect it, because I'm interested in that. I'm not just interested in like selling my art. Like I like to interface. Anybody that's here that knows my traditional work knows that like I like to talk to people about what they're into, and I like to make weird versions of things that they're into that they can enjoy, because for me the connection is a big part of the process. Like I like being populist. I go to the Comic Cons, I collect, I always talk to the fans because I'm a fan, right? I don't like playing that exclusivity game where like, no, you can't talk to me, I have a fake name and all that shit. Like that's not my scene, right? So I love talking to people like you for the first time because like, hey, here's another person with a whole different worldview, but they like my shit. That's awesome, right? So there you go.
I've kind of one more question, if you don't mind. It'll be real quick. I know Dan said that you've already submitted a lot of your work to him. I think most of them was labbits. On a scale of yes to yes, was one of those pieces that you sent in the smoke and poop emoji?
They've got those. They've got those files. They've got those files. And
nice.
They decide if they want to pick those up, I think it would be awesome because right now I'm working on more designs. There'll be 200 finished designs for that pretty soon. That's their call, but it's been popular on Hicket, Nunk. I'll give it that. So,
awesome.
We blew through 100 like pretty fast, and I'm about to drop another 100. And after that, we'll see.
Just looking at some physicals. All right, thank you, man. Thank y'all for your time. I'm about to step down.
Thanks, Crypto. Thanks for your questions.
I was just going to say,
and just so that you guys know, I mean, VeVe has got probably 10,000 designs that I sent them. Because, I've been doing these for like over 20 years.
Wow, that's amazing. 10,000.
Right, so there's not, so they have a lot, not just the labbits, there's all the other characters and toys and the flat stuff. And so, they've got everything on a big drive and they can pick and choose. I'll have suggestions of favorite pieces, but they have an enormous archive of work to make their choices from.
Sick, I love that. I think Rob has something to say, and then Jonas was trying to ask a question a couple times, so I'm going to let Jonas speak. Jonas is an amazing artist in his own right when he gets going. But go ahead, Rob. I think you were saying something, then Jonas.
Oh, no, I was just going to say super quick, Frank, are there any other of your characters that you'd like to see in the VeVe universe, and why is it Pigums?
Pigums may be there at some point. Pigums is new. I've been making him as toys in Japan lately, and they're real beautiful through this little tiny microsite called Black Book Toy. Have fun trying to get them. Yeah, I mean, I love the Labbit, and the Labbit naturally is the most obvious one. He's been the best selling of all the characters for, since the 90s, right? So I'm gonna start with the Labbit, but I mean, I've got all like the Monger series, right? If you want to look those up, there's hundreds of those. There's all the other animals. There's the Dr. Bomb. It's all there. There's like all the Kaiju-esque stuff. There's like the Mecha Labbit in different versions. I definitely have lots of ideas of like more elaborate versions, new characters, so what's nice about the VeVe thing is it's going to give me a lot of time to just sit down and like just be creative, right? I won't have to take all the commercial jobs anymore. So that will give me more free time just to work on my own stuff a lot more, right? So not only is it going to, I think, help expose my characters to people that might like them in a nice major modern way, but it will give me the freedom to develop more characters, right? And that's really great for me. That makes me super stoked. That's why I'm so excited. And they'll have a place to go live and do their thing, right? I won't have to go through the whole thing of trying to make the toys and, But I assume long term that physical toys will naturally follow the trail of the digital releases on VeVe. I think that's probably a given at this point.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Very cool, Jonas, and then Cameron after that.
Yeah, hi Frank, it's Jonas here, the icon with the skull with the butterflies. I kind of had a follow-up question on a question that Crypto asked, because I myself a physical artist that's now also going in the digital and the NFT space. And Crypto asked if there is a lot of physical collectors that would go for the digital collectibles. Now, my question is the reverse. Do you think you will have digital collectors who collect NFTs that might be interested to buy your physical piece? So the other way around, do you see that happening?
Yeah, I do think so. So it's just sort of like the words leaked out about NFTs on VeVe happening, right? I've actually been reading all the tweets and all the stuff, right? I've been reading a lot of stuff. There's a lot, suddenly a lot of activity, and kind of like a lot more people than I would have thought of are asking that question in a way that it means they would have wanted. So to me, then that's the best of everything, because you know that figure, that story, that object can exist on all the platforms, right? So it's just like, yeah, it's great. So I think that digital collectors, I think, will be more prone to getting turned on to physical objects than the other way around, because I think that they're more going to be more they're open-minded to begin with, right? Because they're in this space, and so that open-mindedness and enthusiasm is naturally going to carry on to other things. And I think over time, VeVe will actually, you'll be getting it. Like they'll be publishing physical goods. They'll be doing elaborate interlocking stories with them as digital collectibles. Like, I mean, if you really think about it, it's like, it's endless, right? The possibilities are endless. They're having great success, which means like they're going to have the funding to invest in R&D, right? They're not just going to like put up this version and that's it, right? Like they're going to continue to reinvest into making it all more interesting. So like I'm fucking super stoked on it, man, personally.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm hoping, that there is less boundaries between physical and digital, that it's more about the concept, and that the physical and the digital will be just more ways to tell a story, and that it in the end doesn't matter anymore. I think that could enrich the experience for the artist and for the collector.
I mean, if it was up to me, dude, I would make like a physical piece that was like the labbit, and like it had a projector that shone out of his asshole and projected the NFT versions on the wall, like, and then you could like pull it up on the phone and through augmented reality, like make it do weird shit. Like I could see all kinds of crazy stuff happening. That would be super fun, right?
That's kind of what I am working like. I have some sculptures from skulls, but if you have the AR, you see the brains popping out and circle
like,
around.
I think that stuff is sort of the next obvious step.
Thank you so much, Frank. Thank you for your
Oh, you're welcome.
You there, Cameron? Cameron, my brother from another mother.
What's going on, Mike? How you doing? I'd like to thank you and Mark for having the room tonight. I have a question for Rhys. I know we're all adult collectors. Most everyone here, most of the people, it seems, when I see the groups and the chats and the YouTube, is there a plan for, my kids love the app. They love looking at it, seeing the different things. Is there a plan for the kids going forward? Is this something for older collectors? Is there a vision there, Rhys, for the kids? That's one of my first questions.
Yeah, so at the moment, I think it's really content dependent. I would argue that some of the releases, say the Toki Unicornos, some of the stuff that we have coming up soon will definitely appeal more to that market. But the app in its current iteration, I think there's a 13-year-old age limit on it. As it is, we kind of have to tread a pretty fine line between what is offered on the platform. If we start to promote it as something that is applicable to children, we have to then adhere to a whole lot of other legalities around the app itself, and that kind of thing. But I have just noticed that Mr. Yu seems to have rejoined us, so he may be able to give us a bit more insight. David, if you're there and not in a meeting while listening to us.
Hey guys, sorry, I had to pop into a meeting. I just got out, so I thought I'd come back in. So excuse the noise.
Yeah, no excuses at all. Thanks so much for coming back. It's a pleasure that you give us your time. Go ahead. Oh, you took a phone call.
This is definitely our aim to have something for everyone. And right now with Series 1, what we have just produced and released out was really testing our limit on what we can do, what we can issue. You will see collectibles that a little bit for the kids, and I think the Givenchy artwork was a bit more colorful, and we really want to test the edge of this collectible side. And obviously Frank's work is something very new. I mean, he came from all the rock posters now, but the first release that we're doing for Frank is very much the labbit, the toy lines. And hopefully, Frank will be releasing some of his old work onto our platform, or maybe even new work he will be doing. So there will definitely be a lot of more collectible content. But the great thing about collectors is there's something for everyone in every age, and there's a lot of artists that we are working with. Hopefully, we'll be bringing that out to everyone.
Do you think we'll ever release like a VeVe Kids or something like that, David? Is that sort of in the works at some point, or?
We have been. A lot of people have talked about, maybe we should bring out a kids version. I mean, and a lot of the toy company that we have talked to, and we'll be announcing some new partnership coming up as well, that will be catered to that. There is something coming. You do have to wait for maybe 7 more days for a new announcement. There is something for the kids, and you're gonna love it. If you have girls in the family, this is something gonna be crazy big. Very exciting. I'm under strict NDA. I can't say it, and it's not even a brand that we already announced or a public knowledge. It's been very tight-lipped. I don't even think Dan knows about it. So, and we'll be announcing that very soon. And that is very, very kids-driven brand, but very big.
And I have one more question, Rhys. Since we have David here, David, can we kind of get a roadmap for the next 6 months, like up to Christmas, and then what we're looking at, here going into next year from VeVe?
Yeah, thanks. So that's a good question. I mean, myself and Dan, every day we talk about what's on the roadmap for the next 6 months. I do need to tell you, we are in season 2. So obviously, by December, we'll hopefully will be in start of season 3 of all our collectibles. We're going to be really leveling up, and you will see a lot of the collectible have gamification inside or interaction. The Marvel announcement you guys probably have read is all about comics as well as statues and collectible and more. So the word and more is going to be pretty amazing. Like you guys haven't seen that. Even Marvel don't want to announce it yet because it's and more is that the word they use is, is telling you something that, hey, it's not just comic, it's not just the toy statues, it's much more is coming out. And that will come from towards mid to end of this. Well, we're already in the middle of the year. It will be more towards end of the year. But like I say, it's more interactions, a lot more gamification, things like that.
And one more quick question. Sorry, Mike. I got the floor, but we have a lot of, we're big fans, David. As you can see, my Ultraman, me standing with my Ultraman in my picture there, been involved. And, a lot of us are also Omi holders. And I know you don't want to go into the coin too much. Just, kind of, say something to, make us, what's the plan, and maybe not a plan, but just something to us, to let us know, everything is still, beautiful and all.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think so if you're talking about the token side of thing, we are in the final process of integrating the OMI to purchase NFT directly. We are implementing, gem cashing out. Users basically can cash out excess gems. As you probably know, a lot of these things require regulatory approval of how we do it. doing KYC, AML. So we'll be following all that. So in regards to the utility side of it, there's a lot more coming out. And I think many times in our article, we talk about utility, staking, for the OMI fans, what will you get? It will be part of all that collectors program that we'll be bringing out. There's nothing the market doesn't know already. We have limited resource. We have spent about a good 5 to 6 months try to implement and scale the app, and that really taken a huge chunk of our resource and time getting all that fixed up. And now we're in the process of bringing in the gem cashing out process, the NFT purchase with OMI. And I think it's very likely we will be opening, you can purchase and trade your collectibles with OMI as well.
Thank you very much.
There's
Thank
so
you.
much coming there.
Thank
Just to
you so
recap a couple of things on the OMI front as well, in case people sort of haven't been tuned into the ecosystem or missed a few details. So we obviously have the migration to Immutable that is in development now, which best case scenario, we're looking at, probably 4 to 6 weeks for that to start, to actually make the transition. The token buybacks have just begun. So I think we've seen 2 buybacks already in the last 2 weeks or something like that. So that will continue on a bit of a rolling basis as well. As most people know, we've had some issues with GoChain and exchanges, but as of right now, we're still on the same exchanges we've been on for a few months. So they're absolutely still in the works. I did receive some good news about that a few days ago, but I'm not going to commit to any sort of dates or anything on that front just yet. But obviously, just to let people know that, of course, that's still in the works, and we have said more than once that the goal is to really be on 5 or 6 major exchanges by the end of this year. So that's all coming as well. And then as soon as we put that utility into the app with the OMI token, and this will all kind of happen post Comic-Con, where presumably our user base will continue to expand, we have a ready market to be able to put the token in front of. So all of that integration into the app is hugely beneficial for the token. And the plan is that with the MTL integration, that at some point we will also be able to offer or facilitate the purchase of that token through the app. So if you're a non-crypto or a non-OMI holder and you see a RESO listed in the market in OMI tokens, but you still want to buy it, you'll be able to do that through the MTL with just using your credit card, as an in-app purchase, but that will, facilitate the purchase of tokens to facilitate your purchase of that collectible. So, as the app continues to develop and the ecosystem continues to develop, so too does the use of the OMI token. And it always has been such an integral part of this app and the experience, and will continue to be. So hopefully that brings people up to speed on that front too.
Thanks, Rhys. I was just talking to Af on the side. Af is our normal host, and he does an amazing job. I don't know if you're available to speak right now. If you had a question for anybody up here, Af's been a collector for a long time. Has been in our Facebook group from the very beginnings. One of the moderators. Amazing dude.
Hi, morning everyone. Well, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. It is 4:30 a.m. here in the UK, so I sound a little bit croaky, but no, it's great job, everyone. Just been listening for about the last half an hour. It's been a pleasure. So yeah, really enjoying it. Reminder: follow everybody on the stage if you're not already. Clubhouse is a great app, and yeah, what journey it's starting to be already. So looking forward to where this is going, and thanks everybody for joining us as well, David and Rhys and Frank. So really appreciate that. And yeah, we do these every Thursday just before the drops, and it creates some absolute excitement, some live excitement as we all try and press that buy now button as quick as we possibly can. But yeah, just make sure you follow everybody on the stage and in the audience. It's like we keep saying that word, community. and yeah, we've got some friends for life for people that we haven't even met yet. So yeah, it's more than just the collectibles. We love it.
Very nice, Seth.
Yeah.
I know it's late. We've been going for 2 hours. Amazing time. Were you going to say something, Rhys? I don't mean to cut you off, bro. Go ahead.
No. I was really just going to throw some praise to you guys, and just I mean, you've created this incredible space on Clubhouse.
You can do that.
Yeah. I mean, as you've just said, we've all made friends across the world, with people that we haven't met yet, and it's really crazy to see that, that obviously the internet is allowing this dissemination of information, but I feel for once in my life, it's finally allowing that connectivity of people, around the app and the shared experience of collecting and being exposed to new artists like Frank and new brands and all of those things. But really, it's just brought everybody together in such an amazing way. Yeah, we say this all the time, but it's truly humbling to see this come together. And shout out to you guys for creating this community. Shout out to everybody who's doing it in Discord and Telegram and on Facebook, and to see that many places popping up that are all kind of celebrating this journey, which we're all on now, right? I don't think anyone's in a position to leave this behind anymore. We've all committed, so it's really amazing, and we're all writing this story together, and I for one am very excited to continue to be a part of it, and I know that everybody that has shown up today is as well. So big thanks to you guys for putting this on. Big thanks to everybody that's here, and keep showing up, because that's what keeps this going too. So I'll wrap it up at that for now.
Yeah, it's awesome. There's 2 or 3 people on stage, and maybe we'll do a rapid fire question. I think I see Kay and Melanie and Matt and Sean who have not asked questions before we go.
Hey,
or are we wrapping it up?
Hey, this is Melanie. If I had an opportunity to speak, I just wanted to say thank you, because Frank has been such a wonderful inspiration and example in the NFT space and on Clubhouse. He's just really, helped people see that they can have a career, smart ways to do it. Really been a mentor and someone that people look up to. So just thank you. It's been very inspirational. And you're really, really appreciated, and I just hope you know that. And you're awesome, and congratulations.
Nice, thanks, Melanie. He's on mute, but that's very nice.
Yeah, thanks, Melanie. That's really nice to hear. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, dude.
Yeah, I will agree. To say that Frank is unpretentious is an absolute understatement. He's so nice to talk to, so approachable. He's right. I've seen him responding in the Facebook groups, and he will talk to anybody. So, really, I second all that for sure.
Hey, I was just gonna say really quick, I'm here for one reason, and that's just to support Frank. And so, congratulations, Frank. That's all I got to say.
Would you, by chance, be somewhere near Canada?
Yeah, for a week, but yeah, other than that, usually LA.
Is it by chance?
Let's let you guys know, Matt is a really famous, highly skilled, historically important skateboard artist.
Well, that's awfully generous of you, Frank, but yeah, I appreciate that.
You want to say a little quick something, Matt, about yourself? You want to tell everybody where to check your? I mean, you're very famous. Maybe it speaks for itself.
I think that was a little bit of a I don't know, a cherry on top of
Yeah.
But
okay, fair enough. Nah, I get it.
But that was super generous of Frank to say, for sure, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I told Frank I'd come over here and support, and so that's why I'm here, and just wanted to say congratulations.
And Matt runs a great Clubhouse room by himself. You're the moderator of that room normally. It's a lot of fun in there.
Enter at your own risk.
Matt, have you met David, our CEO?
Hey Matt, how are you?
Hey, how's it going? How are you doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us today. Just pop back in to make sure I catch the last bit of everyone's part of the show.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Definitely.
I was just going to say,
Yeah,
Frank has said
definitely
really
reach
good
out if you've
stuff.
got art.
Sorry about that.
You're right. You're right. That's my bad. I was just going to say, if you've got some incredible skateboard art, connect with us, friend.
Yeah,
Pass it on to David.
Frank has a huge library, as you know, and just long time, just super iconic, super, important, having pretty much single-handedly started the rock poster whole deal like the way we know it today. But yeah, I mean, I do have a pretty large library of my own, and yeah, I'd love to connect if you guys want to let me know how to do that.
Yeah, sure. Just probably the easiest way is to reach out to me on the Ecomi Twitter page, and then I'll get in touch that way, or on Telegram. But it gets a little crazy in there.
Yeah, will do.
Perfect. Got a few more questions from the floor, guys, and then we might wrap it up, or I will anyway. But while we've got Frank and David here, may as well throw to them.
I was going to ask David if you had any sneak peeks of like some of your personal favorite artists. I'm a super big Hebrew fan, and I'm mega jealous of that, that giant sculpture you guys got. So I didn't know if you had any artists that you were really hoping to bring into the VeVe universe.
Yeah, thank you for that. I haven't spoke to Hebrew. I should message him. I did get that 250-meter tall flyboy, and I own every flyboy design out there, and a lot of his work as well. Maybe I should reach out to him. But definitely, we do have another artist we'll be announcing in coming weeks. Hopefully around July. July is going to be a quite big month for us. We got Comic-Con releases. We got a lot of exciting project. We're working on few major with another quite well known industry player. I every time I get onto these Ask Me Anything or these Clubhouse, I get in trouble. So it's hard.
Everyone's hoping you'll slip up. That's what's going on.
Yeah, I can feel it. I definitely can. But we do have one really cool artist coming on, very different than Frank. We what we like to do is have a different type of style of work, and we want to bring something for everyone. And in the coming weeks, we'll be announcing the next artist that join on VeVe. And most of you guys will have seen his work. Very different, so be ready for it. And we do have one massive kids brand coming on board as well. So we'll be announcing that in the coming week as well. So that's another great announcement coming.
I would love to see Hebrew on the platform.
Yeah, I definitely will. He's done really well. It's amazing how he's one of the most talented guy. Very clean. The artwork is so cool. The color so vibrant. Yeah, just everything.
Rob has been telling us about Hebrew for months. Hey, David, can I ask you a quick question while you're here? I wonder, do you see physical screens or anything like that in the future of displaying art? Have you seen anything really great, or how do you, what do you think about any kind of, not necessarily for VeVe, but you could probably display your VeVe on there. But you personally, I don't know, I want like some real high end, big giant screens for displaying art. I don't know if that's something you've considered or thought about.
Yeah. So a couple of things. I'm very big believer everything's going to be some sort of digital. The physical is never going to go away. So the digital is just a new way. Myself, I bought myself some new Samsung Frame TV. The endless. It looks like a picture frame, and actually the quality looks amazing. And you can purchase a whole library of artworks. But in terms of VeVe, we have been looking at picture frames and digital frames since 2018. We travel to a lot of electronic shows around the world, and we have talked to suppliers what will really work with our VeVe collectibles. and just and this is nothing new. I mean, everything's available on the internet. You can find out there are cubes out there where it can holographically display your 3D collectible. What we really wanted to do is to find a company that can help us to project out your showroom. Imagine, there's these hologram cube thing. Imagine your whole entire showroom in 3D in that little cube, and it's got layers of it. We're looking for something more immersed, something that will bring a wow effect. And most importantly, right now, all those things are very costly, and it requires a lot of programming. So we're looking for something that can be interruptible with your mobile phone. You can just plug it in the Bluetooth and send it out there just for really showing, not really sending out your private key or the blockchain. It's really just projecting that. So we're looking at that. But definitely screens are something that we'll be looking to do. If Rhys haven't mentioned to you or Dan, our website version will be coming out hopefully within the next 6 to 8 weeks. That will be another experience. People can start looking at and playing around with the collectible on the computer monitor. So if you have a big, huge 25-inch, 30-inch monitor, you're definitely going to be able to see it on the screen.
It's very cool. Is the market going to also be on the web app, or is it only going to be like playing with the collectibles? And
No, yeah, yes. We have found going through the app marketplace can be tedious. So it is very much designed so you can have a better experience doing your marketplace auctioning, keeping your collection much easier. You can move it around with your mouth, click on, so things like that. So it's definitely used for that.
Super cool. People are really going to be excited for that. That's a really nice addition when it comes.
Yeah.
Anybody else hopping in there? David, do you have anything you want to say to the community now that you're back? We're kind of near the end.
Man,
go ahead.
Yeah. I just want to thank everybody. It's been such a long journey, and it's really good to see great artists like Frank coming on board, and so much community supporting what we're doing and all these artists. And we, this is really just the beginning of something great. We'd only done season 1. There was a lot of tests and errors. I know a lot of pain, a lot of messages I get. We try to improve everything. We do hear every problems we have. We do hear all the mistakes. We hear you. We just do need a little bit more time to fix all these things up. Like any app out there will always be some TD issue. But from here onwards, we have scale up our team, and our communities is growing every single day. So as our fan grow, our team resource will grow, and we'll be attending to every issue out there. But it does take time, so please give us some time to do that. But most important, I want to thank Rhys. I know Rhys probably the last 2, 3, 4 years. However, he's been with the community. He's been taking all the I don't know how he's still alive today. He's been our bulletproof jacket. Yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, I'm battle hardened for this now. It's been a 4-year AMA. So
the internet can be cruel.
Oh, absolutely. But also just to be part of that journey. I've said this a few times, but to see this grow from just a few hundred or a few thousand people into what it is now, and I can only imagine what it will be in 6 months' time. But part of that journey, it goes with almost the iterations of the app. You have iterations of the community too, right? You have the people that were here 3 or 4 years ago, the people that found us at the start of this year, all the Moon Boys that have come and gone, and now we're back to this really stable bedrock of fans and collectors and people who genuinely want to be here and be part of the story. Not obviously everyone's here for their own reasons, but but to be part of this journey and help to build the success of this platform is it's nothing short of incredible, and that makes this so much more worth it for me, and it makes it so much easier to deal with all the naysayers and the fudsters and all the bullshit that goes on, because there's so many of you guys and so many people that are here for really amazing reasons, and really want to help and contribute to this. So, to all of you, I mean, you keep me sane, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate all the support and the nice messages that come to me and to the team as well. It's it definitely makes it easier to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, you're a legend, Rhys. You're really accessible, and you do an amazing. You are the community. You are definitely. You really are.
I'm the meme.
All of these NFT projects are built on the communities. We always say that. That's what makes them. And VeVe has a really strong community, and you're a huge part of that for sure. So it goes all both ways. Yeah.
And I just wanted to say, Rhys, it's the Welsh blood in you that gives you that personality to carry on.
Of course, the Welsh are always laying claim to these.
Oh boy, here we go. Claire woke back up.
Thanks, Claire.
And before we close it down, Frank, I want to see if you have any final words. The man of the hour. We're all real excited for your drop tomorrow. This room was pretty much his idea. We came across each other, and he was super happy to do this, and then it all came together from Frank. So super thank you. You've been here for 2.5 hours. Super generous with your time. So if you want to say anything to everybody before we close it down, you have the floor, bud.
Sure. I mean, I want to thank everybody that showed up. I know y'all like Discord, but I find this a lot easier than Discord. So thank you for coming to Clubhouse, even though it may have been a new experience for you. I hope you liked it. As I work with VeVe in the future, you can count on me to be fully supportive of my drops. I'm, just Frank Kozik on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Clubhouse. There's a Discord, which you can hunt down if you want. For me, under Frank Kozik as well. I'm always happy to talk to any collectors about anything they want to talk about in relation to the artwork and so forth. I really appreciate the support of the community. I'm beyond stoked to be able to, get into the digital world with such a strong partner. I've had a good time doing it on my own, but we're all good at certain things, and I think that VeVe working together with artists and really good brands is it's an awesome thing, and they're a great company, and I support them 100%, and hopefully you will too. Anyways, I'm usually around in Clubhouse rooms. They usually have idiotic names, and they're fast and loose. Definitely not safe for work rooms at times, but that's just me and my friends. You're always welcome to join us. Thanks again for being here. I appreciate it, and nervous and excited about tomorrow morning.
Absolutely amazing. Don't be nervous, bud. It's going to go awesome. And Mark, do you have any final words? Do you want to call Mark? Do you want to say anything to everybody? He may not be on the call anymore, but I saw David. You unmuted, or is anybody
also,
else?
I just want to talk to David. David, I know how incredibly busy you are and what you're dealing with 24 hours a day. And man, thank you so much for coming to the room and talking to people. It's like the ultimate support, and it's really appreciated for me.
No, thank you, Frank. Been a huge supporter since your early 2000s. So, we saw a lot of your physical toys. So hopefully we'll do very well going forward here. And thanks for joining on board. And looking forward to more collabs with you. Hopefully we can see some artworks coming to VeVe one day. But definitely it's going to be fun.
Anytime,
thanks for everyone supporting. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks to the room, Keen. Killer job, dude.
I think we are going to shut it down. This was really epic. We love everybody. It was really awesome to have everybody. I hope we get to do it soon. 2 drops tomorrow. Everybody's excited. You want to say one more thing, Rhys?
Yeah, good luck everybody in the drops tomorrow. And as of today, we're kicking off the VeVe Meme Masters tournament. So there's some really great prizes, some collectibles, some gems to be won. It will run over the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't seen that, check out the NFT Pirates YouTube channel. It's on our Twitter as well. Get involved. It's memes make the world go round, and it's just such a really fun way for people to participate in the community. So I was just going to plug that right at the end. Keep an eye out for that. And thanks to you guys for putting this on. Thanks to Frank. Thanks for David, Dan as well. I know he's gone, but big shout out to everybody for showing up once again. Yeah, really, really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Same here. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks all.
Thanks, you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.